What? Holy cow! Look at this. We got a TV show to do here. I reach out to some of my buddies from like the 90s.
Oh, yeah. We go way back. way back.
Bringing it back to the old school.
Oh, yeah, man. It's great to be here.
Munsok here is a legend. I'm a legend in my own mind. Munsok is like a real legend. and Munsok. I've said your name wrong for every time I've run into you. You don't ever correct me. 47 times I've hung out with you. Munsok.
Yeah.
Correct way
to
say it. Put it on the screen there.
I pretty much answer to whatever. You know what I'm saying? At this age, you just kind of go, whatever. You know? It sounds close enough.
Hey, owner guy. He's the owner of a very well-known chain of restaurants right here. Welcome, Munsok to your little castle.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Well, I just you came up on my radar again. I text you every time I go to your restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, hope you just take this picture, put it on your social media, and say, Cardinal Cowboy went to Drunken Fish again. Yeah. The number one place to go. If I have a choice to go anywhere at any time, I can go. It's always I'll eat seafood. I'm sorry, sushi.
Yeah.
24/7.
Man, that's awesome. And
it's
it's good for you, man.
It's good for you. It's healthy. I mean, look, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
We're both. Can we say how old we are now?
Yeah, 52.
We're both 52. We just figured out. That's why
years old. Yeah.
We went to school together at a little Jesuit college downtown.
Together, we're over 100 years old.
104 years of experience on how to mess this thing up.
Oh yeah.
For half of it, that's what I've done.
For sure.
I've messed it up a lot, but I still stick with it. That's what we talked about. One of the ways you can become successful is if you stick with it. We talked about that. True?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard to gain momentum and be successful without a certain level of grit and perseverance, I think,
They're on the original Cowboy and Judge show. Thank you to our sponsors for that, CarShield, The Judge, Carter Law. We talked about calling the show Carter and Carter.
Yeah.
His first name is Mike, but his last name's Carter. My first name's Carter.
Yeah.
My last name's Rethwish. My nickname in high school was Deathwish. My dad didn't like that. So now we took that away. I got hit by the drunk driver. Hey, let's get away from the Deathwish.
Yeah.
I told my fraternity brothers, Phi Caps. Remember Phi Caps?
Yeah.
I said, well, in high school they called me Deathwish. They're like, you're a pledge. We're calling you Tad. St. Louis University, everybody.
We went to the same school, yeah.
Did you like SLU? What did you study? Where did I see you at?
My major was clinical laboratory science. So
makes perfect sense.
When I was going to school, I thought about maybe getting into med school and being a doctor. So that was the plan.
Gotcha.
Obviously, we didn't go in that direction. But that was kind of the preliminary plan back in the day, yeah.
Well, you decided to do something where you could be successful and have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Versus being a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, the doctors by now, if you actually study, I get into business analysis all the time. You're working for someone else, number one, usually. Some people run off and do their own doctor's office. But usually it's a hospital, and you make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But you're up crazy hours, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
One of the doctors told me I was 1 out of 100 recovers from a traumatic brain injury. Like, I think there's something wrong with me now. You should have seen me. It was my sophomore year in college. Did you start in 91?
91. Yep, 91. Graduated in 95.
95.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Health Careers High School.
Where's that?
Which is a magnet high school right on the south side of Grand, near 44. Near 44, yeah.
Is it still around?
It's not around anymore.
I've never heard of that. I thought I knew every high school.
It was a small high school, maybe 450 students, and it predominantly focused in on health-related topics and majors and stuff like that. So it was kind of a preliminary magnet high school, trying to get you into like nursing or if you want to be a doctor or something of that sort.
Was it kind of a charter school like they have today, kind of?
Kind of.
They're more specialized, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I'm losing my voice here a little bit, everybody. I know somebody's going to be really disappointed if the Cardinal Cowboy can't talk. But I try to share the excitement. I just saw this gentleman, this young man over here. I'm going to put up on the wall to start off. First, a shout out. We got to widen the screen there. Put camera number 5 up. That's our new 4K. That's a nice one. Because you like nice things, where do you like nice things? And you'll see what I did there. You like that? See what I did there? In your little castle. Brooke thought that was creative. I hang out with Brooke from time to time.
Yeah.
Amy, thanks you guys for being a sponsor. You want to have a nice house that you decorate nicely, but you also want to have a nice restaurant so you can come home and enjoy your house after you've filled your belly. Got some nice furniture in there. You got a nice bed you sleep on, but you got to fill your belly with some good food.
Yeah.
And some hospitality.
You know what? I'm building a house right now, so I might need to look up Carroll House. You know,
I
because I'm looking at furniture.
He probably would not care. People ask me sometimes if I can give them Brooke's cell phone number. I'm like, no. No, I don't do that for anybody at all.
I see him on television all the time, by the way.
Go look him up. Call the website. They'll connect you if they think it's something they want to talk about. But I'll talk to. What I'll do is I'll ask Brooke if I can. Give you his cell.
Yeah.
Whatever. He'll hook you up. Just tell him Cardinal Cowboy sent you. They'll charge you double.
Yeah.
No, they don't. But I enjoy what they. I'm gonna put on. You got a bunch of websites up here because you're doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I got my hands in a little bit of everything right now. So started in the hospitality industry with the nightclubs, and then progressed into restaurants. Sit down.
I'm gonna put that one over here.
Yeah.
So there's Drunken Fish. Everybody knows Drunken Fish.
Yeah, and then kind of progressed into sit-down restaurants with Drunken Fish, and then to Kimchi Guys, which is a fast casual Korean fried chicken restaurant. I have 3 of those locations.
That's up on. I'll put that back up for everybody to see. That's on the big TV wall off to.
Yeah. Original
Munsok.
location is on the Laclede Landing, which is got a whole bunch of stuff going on down on the land. If you haven't been down there, you should, because the entire neighborhood is turned into residential, which is amazing. But that was my original Kimchi Guys location. We have a second location in Edwardsville and a third location at Washu. So, and we've been around for about 4 years with that brand. Okay. And then 612 North, which is our event space and catering, is located on the landing as well. We have 2 spaces. We predominantly do wedding venues, corporate events, off-site and on-site catering. And so that's been around for about 5 years as well. So
I told you I put everything on a separate tab. They call those tabs. You have multiple tabs with each browser. It's for easier to find. I couldn't find it. There it is. So Google search this gentleman. I'm going to put it on the TV wall here. You can look here. Wow.
Oh, look at that mugshot.
Look at it. And this is what popped up. I said, man, I haven't figured out who's my celebrity guest going to be this week. So Munsok, I got his cell phone, and I got you through Facebook first.
Yeah.
And I'll send you a text. If you can make it, I'll record you. We'll be on Saturday night, and everything is all right. And you're going to watch Munsok, say his name correctly there, on a half-hour interview here we're going to give him just because he's awesome. But I'm going to put up on this wall, here's the hospitality. So this is your overarching, the umbrella company, they call this, right?
So this the hospitality side of my businesses is Drunken Fish, 612 North, event space and catering, and Kimchi Guys. And then the other half is more on the commercial and residential real estate side, and that is the kind of the other side of kind of what I do, on a regular basis.
I'm gonna go back widescreen. So Drunken Fish behind us, 612 North. I'm putting up there on the wall. For everyone to see, and that's your venue for doing weddings. Yeah,
I mean, we do. If you're getting married, we do a fantastic job doing the entire ceremony as well as doing the reception. So I highly recommend that if you're out there in the market looking for a place to get married. But we do a lot of corporate events as well. So Christmas parties, birthday parties, anniversary events. Catering events, galas, as well as charity events. We do all of those as well. So
okay, yeah. And I will show you the reason I keep trying to get to. Sometimes I think, and nothing happens. That's a Three Stooges line.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
I try to think, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
Here is, man, I keep talking about it. There it is. I put it on separate tabs. That's because I didn't have it. I got to figure which tab I put it on.
Sure.
So over here, it's the Soul Hospitality Group. Look at this, everybody. I don't know how many people you know who get listed in St. Louis.
My mug shot.
That's your mug. Okay, I wasn't going to say it. Let you say it. They got a mug shot up there. You got some many. You've never been arrested. You've never been in trouble.
Never.
But that's the picture they grabbed from somewhere. But if you look at what it says there, St. Louis Business 500 Munsok Hospitality Group. How did you get put up on this thing?
You know, they reached out to me a while back. It's probably like 6 months ago, and they said they were, you know, looking for people to share stories of success here in St. Louis, and they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So they gave me a questionnaire to fill out and kind of interviewed me, and boom, I'm in there. You know, so
that's the St. Louis STLmag.com, St. Louis Magazine.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, they don't just ask anybody. I mean, I would have to beg them. I'm like, please, please, please. I'm this crazy Cardinal Cowboy guy.
Yeah.
But you got to be a leader. You got to have established yourself. I mean,
well, I think, you know, I've been around. You know, one thing I'm, you know, very fortunate with is not just being and living in St. Louis, but I think I've been such a big fan of being here. It's my home, and we've gotten so much support from St. Louis and the surrounding areas. So, yeah.
Well, my mom made a strong argument. I think you're making the same argument. That is, I wanted to go to Central Methodist University because my coach taught me. I met with him, taught me. He said to me, I met with him recently. He said, Carter, tell me the truth, man. I know it's been 33 years. And I didn't talk to him even after the coma and the accident. But I was at Central Methodist University. They went on to win a national title in soccer, NAIA, and they were beating Division I top 25 teams, I think. 20. I know they're Division I, and they're NAIA. But then they won a national championship in soccer after the Cardinal Cowboy went there.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Anyway, they also went to the national championship for baseball.
Wow.
And so I'm like, this was a little mecca, but they would take on guys like myself. I'm 5'9". I'm not like a power hitter. And he said, come here to Central, man. So I went to SLU, did my thing there, went to, it's a long story, we'll talk about it, it's crazy, but walked on a soccer team. Buddy said later, Carter, you're the only guy that walked on that year that should have made that team. They had Sorber, Santel, McBride, Brian McBride, ever heard of him? Like the most goals in the United States history up until, I think Donovan passed him up for Team USA. I took Brian McBride down in a 50-50 ball one time. Joe Clark looked at me like, don't you hurt my super athlete. But kill my chances to win a championship. And anyway, so they go on to the semifinals, losing the semifinals to Claudio Reina's Virginia. And my buddy's like, you should have been on that team. I went to Central, played baseball. The coach, years later, just told me, he said, Carter, I'll get you drafted. I swear he said it to me. I'm like, man. Because I was diving around, but I wasn't some big powerhouse school I went to, Lutheran South, not a bad school, but they were not promoted. My coach would not call back the coaches that were calling. I won't name the coach, nice guy, but I'm like, why wouldn't he call him back? They were going to offer you. So I go to Central, and he's like, I'll take you. I end up going to soccer on a soccer team too. I'm like, the soccer team back then wasn't bad. I'll never forget I can't say his name, Coach Mose. And Coach Mose, he could flip a ball on his back. He played for the Iranian national soccer team. Yeah. And he goes, play soccer with me. Bam, get hit by the drunk driver. In that spring, I was going to play baseball.
Oh, wow.
He said, the coach told me recently, Coach Phipps, look it up, I'm going to air that interview. We went to Chicago, did an interview with him. He said, Cowboy, let me tell you like this. I'm a very analytical, statistical. My master's is in statistical data analysis, something like that. And I'm like, oh. He goes, here's what I'll tell you. You were as good as or better than the guy I had that came out of Central. I talked him into playing baseball because he was a guard, 5'7", white guy who couldn't play basketball. And he said, you're good, but 5'7" guys don't make it to the NBA too often. And so I think you're 5'9", you take a shot, go out and play baseball. Got him drafted, goes to AA, setting records. He said, Carter, he was setting records at AA. So those guys skip AAA a lot of times if you're setting records. And then he got hurt, pulled both of his quads. They paid him for a year.
Wow.
Steve Klein. Somebody look him up. Not the Steve Klein a lot of people know, the lefty pitcher for the Cardinals. This is before him. And with the Mets. And it was done. He said, Carter, you were as good as or better than him.
Wow.
So this is where we're talking about bouncing back and coming back from hurdles in life. That's a little bit more of the story I share with people a little bit. Go into much more depth. But they were walking me to class because I wouldn't drop out. I wouldn't quit the semester. I made them take me back there. I wouldn't let me drive, so they'd drive me down. Because I was like, you think I'm messed up now? Like I said, did you see me? You saw me after my coma.
Yeah.
Did I seem pretty normal back then?
I mean, as normal as you could be.
Right. And I was fun. I was cool.
Absolutely.
But nobody knew this, but I was walking around. I tell people, what was it like recovering from a coma after I survived when the doctor said I wasn't going to? 50-50 odds to survive. The other doctor, then they said, okay, now he's going to be a vegetable. You're going to take care of him the rest of his life. It was like being drunk 24/7.
Wow.
I literally felt like my head was a little bit crocked, tilted for like 3 years.
Wow.
And I showed up, and I didn't complain about that. I didn't tell too many people about it. So I wanted to be treated like a regular person, right? And I'm like, cool. And people were like, man, Carter's kind of fun and all that. I'm like, yeah, I can't even remember what I talked about 10 minutes ago. But I had people like you that were supportive friends, and we became good friends for many years.
Yeah.
And I think that most of life is the stick-to-itiveness, where you just got to go for it, never quit.
Yeah.
And that's how you became so successful. I would argue. I mean, what else is there to it? Tell us.
I think you hit it right on the nail. I think sometimes, there's a lot of talented people out there that wants to do something with their life, and they go after it, and they have a little pitfall, or they fall down, and they just give up. And I think part of life is, when you fall down, you got to be able to get your butt back up and keep going, because you never know when you're going to hit that angle where you're going to meet the right person, have the right opportunities. Something's going to be put onto your plate to where you're going to now be able to take advantage of the next. I think that's the moment where you have to persevere, have some grit, have some perseverance, that you can be successful,
Well,
you got to fight through those moments.
Yes, as I'm trying to coordinate, we've got another great interview. I decided to fill the spot, and I said, well, we'll have both of you interviewed, and we'll figure out who's going to air on Saturday and who's going to air next Saturday. But I dedicate one show each week to entrepreneurs, leaders, business owners, charities, musicians. And so Mark Schmitz is in the driveway, he said, in the parking area. And so he's going to come in, hopefully, and join us. And maybe we'll sit over here and listen to the last couple minutes here. We got 12 minutes left to talk here. These things, there it is. Let me see. Mark, come on up, Mark. I'm going to put the camera on you. Talk for 15 seconds or a minute here while I explain to me what you think you gained by being close to the community at St. Louis University in St. Louis.
Doing what now?
As you were here in St. Louis, did the community really help you, think? Because you were born and raised here.
I think because I was not born here. I was born in South Korea, but I came over when I was 6 years old. And so I pretty much lived in St. Louis all my life. I grew up in Dogtown. Went to public schools, went to college at St. Louis University, but being from St. Louis, I think I got a pretty good knowledge of the area, obviously, and just having connections here in St. Louis and opening up my first business here in St. Louis, I think it gave me the opportunity to be able to understand the market, having really good connections in the market here in St. Louis, and then having really supportive people that really understood my businesses and helped me get to where I wanted to be, So that was exciting.
Well, and I'm calling, first time I've ever done this, but I'm calling Mark to say, the door's unlocked now. I hit the remote button. We're in the middle of the interview.
I think he's here.
Is he here? Are you there, Mark? Yep. Oh, come on in here, man. I'm calling you on your... All right. Grab a seat there. You can. Oh, thank you. Yeah, go ahead and set that down on the table if you want. I don't care. But yeah, we're having great... This is Munsok. There's Mark Schmitz. The leaders in our community, we got two of them in the building at one time, man, and we're talking about Munsok, and for 30 years I've known this guy. I said his name wrong, and Mark Schmitz. You guys are leaders. We're going to have you coming in here just a minute. I'm going to finish up the half hour with him, and I'm going to give you a half hour too, if that's cool. We got 10 minutes left. But you can, well, I would like you to chip in because they can hear you sometimes from over there. What do we do? This community is amazing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And you would argue that helped you because you grew up here.
I think St. Louis,
as a youth.
I don't know about other cities, but it's a very, very supportive community, and I think when you put out a good product and when you really care about serving the people in your community, they are fully supportive, So I think that's one thing great about St. Louis.
Yeah, we talk about St. Louis is the biggest town in America. Mm-hmm. Biggest town in the country because we're like everybody knows everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's like these people that I'm seeing some of the marketing stuff that some of these now we're not just doing interviews that elevate your business to another level on ABC. We're also, I've started asking these people, my buddies, check them for their websites and make sure, and these guys are spending $400 a month for something they got zero out of. It's like they were supposed to write articles. I'm not going to name names, but they were supposed to write articles, 2 articles a month, and for $400 a month. And that included the hosting. I'm like, okay, how much do you think hosting costs? One of my clients the other day, I guess, he says, I don't know, $100 a month? I'm like, $3 a month. And he was spending $250 for the hosting. The other guy was spending $400 a month for the posts they were going to write. Mm-hmm. I said, you take a guess the last time they wrote you a post? Because I can look at it on your website to search, and you can figure out the last one. October 2019. It's 2025. This
Yeah.
guy's paying $400 a month for nothing
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Wow.
So if you need help with the consulting like that, guys, I just love helping people. I've done very well, so I'm okay with financially. But I like to help people. It makes my life better. I enjoy my parents. My mom, I'm going to talk about her in a minute, just got put on the front page of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch for 60 years.
That's awesome. That is
She hasn't made
awesome.
millions. She's doing all right.
Yeah.
Teachers get paid decently here in St. Louis, in Missouri. But literally, they highlighted her again because they said they need to. That's
awesome.
why I got to follow her footsteps. I got a lot big shoes to fill
Yeah.
with her. Back to the business area. I mean, you got highlighted as a top 500 business person in St. Louis. There's what, 40,000 businesses, and there's the average business has at least 15 employees. Like, you're in the top 1% of 1%. I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
apparently, according to them. So, what do you think you could offer to somebody to say, if you were going to go after it as a business owner, whatever that might be? We talked about sticking to it and all that. But do you have any specific insight? You would say, if you're going to do this in St. Louis specifically, or maybe something that could apply across the country, what would it be that these people, these business owners, aspiring business owners, need to do?
I get into a lot of regular conversations with other business owners, and obviously we try to not just network, but try to reach out for resources. And sometimes you get some younger entrepreneurs or people that want to open up their own businesses, and they'll pick our brains, obviously, and I think it's finding the right business for what you're wanting to get accomplished, but really honing in on your skills to be able to be successful in whatever that business idea or business venture that you're trying to get into, and then sticking with it. Like we talked about, just having the perseverance to not give up. I think so much where people are wanting to do something, but not enough to get through some of the pain points. They're interested enough, but they can't get through those pain points. And I think part of being successful is getting through multiple of those pain points. And you got to be able to sacrifice not going on vacations, not having weekends off, not going out having a good time with your friends. I think you have to be able to have those kind of sacrifices to be successful in life.
All the stuff I've read and researched and proved, I wasn't the number one sales guy in 4 national companies because I screwed around trying to figure out if I should go to this restaurant. I love restaurants. I love your restaurant owner. But I mean, I go to those restaurants at 10 o'clock at night for an hour or 2, and I'm networking while I'm there.
Sure.
Tell me if you've noticed this about me. But a gal working for me, her mother referred her to me, or her daughter referred, and she says, watch him. Ask him what movies are in the theaters right now. He will have no clue.
Yeah.
But if you watch what he's actually doing when he's out, he's talking to that guy, talking to this gal.
That's true.
And that's what have to
You're
do.
the best at that, for sure. You are the best
Where's
at
all
that.
the money at?
Yeah.
I give too much away. I don't charge enough, whatever. But I like helping people. It makes me sleep well at night.
Yeah.
Isn't that more important?
Absolutely. I think part of what you do have to be about giving back. Either giving back information, giving back to the community in terms of dollars, or giving back in terms of assistance. But it's about giving back. Yeah.
Well, it makes the world go round. I know. Did you know the mortality rate? The suicide rate, look this up, is double, not 5. I see what I'm doing here. Not 4, not 3, but 2 times the average American's suicide rate is double. I don't have to get into that whole discussion. But why is that? Because there's a lot of these guys who maybe they were less scrupulous to get things done and didn't do it the right way, and they made millions of dollars, but how do they sleep at night? Well, some of them can't.
True.
And so isn't it true then, there are a lot more teachers out there, a lot more medics out there, and EMTs, police officers, firefighters, soldiers. We're going to talk to a soldier's father over here in a few minutes, that dedicate them. They're not making $7 million, but they're happy.
Yeah.
Is that more important?
I think so. As I get older, rapidly, I think the more important things is about creating good and strong and quality relationship with people that you really care about, and significantly more so than trying to make extra money. And I think, and as I've gotten older, I think your values change a little bit. And so what's important to me now is making sure I spend time with good people, quality time with the people that I really care about, and do it in the time frame that I want to do it in. I think that's more of the success that I'm looking for in the second part of my life.
wisdom. There's just knowledge, but there's wisdom. Look up the difference, everybody.
Yeah.
And when you get people like Munsok, I know I've got your name programmed in my phone both ways, so that when I search for your name, I'm like, did I spell it?
Yeah.
Now it shows up either way. Munsok. But I got you.
But either way, I'm going to answer to it. Yeah.
I hit him up. I
it's
swear.
Close enough.
What time was it? 10 o'clock last night?
Oh yeah.
And you're like, yeah, let me know. And then I didn't hear back for a minute, which is fine because you've got things to do. So I hit up Mark. Mark came. Both of you guys came in last minute. He's like, I got to get this show in by 12 o'clock tonight. So I'll upload it at 7 in the morning because I'll probably be up all night. Editing, producing, whatever. Now I've got 2 shows knocked out because Mark's going to help me with the second one. And we'll decide between the two of you who thinks they should air this week or who should air next week. And we got a business owner that came in earlier that is going to be the other 2 shows. They wanted to do 2 half-hour shows, which was good for them to have great content. We're really helping people create a ton of content for their business to put out there. And that's just hard to do. You're walking out of here, you're spending as much. We produce a show. Help us sponsor your own show, unless you're a celebrity. Yeah. And then I'll do this for you. And you'll get more content created for the same cost. You just spent paying somebody to do something. They're going to use cookie cutter stock images for the same cost. If you average it out, these social media people, they'll $250 a month, and I'm going to write all these stock posts and whatever. You're going to walk out with stuff that has videos from ABC of you talking on ABC for the same cost or less. And it's something you can use. And then it's the long format version put on your website so that when people say, I want to spend $30,000 to get my house remodeled. I want to know who I'm spending $30,000 with. A half-hour discussion they will watch, even though they won't. Even the big guys can't do that because the big guy. And so I figured out. I was talking to my buddy. He's like, "Oh yeah." And I said, "You know what? The big guys can't even do that because they're not the ones doing the work. They got 15 levels below them, or maybe 3 levels below them. I'm bringing in the guy who runs it and owns it and runs it, right? Yeah. And they get to hear from him. And then we're going to put those guys on ABC for a half hour. Thank you for coming to join us.
Yeah, man, it was fun. Thank you for having me.
Goes fast, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's a half hour just like that, everybody.
Wow.
I'm going to cut this up, give you the same thing I do for everybody, put it in the clips. We got software that does that now. Love my buddy Asmir in Pakistan. But I said, Asmir, you got replaced by AI. He does a lot of work for me, too. But check out Munsok stuff. We're got about a minute left here. And so check out 612north.com as I put up. Let me see if I hit the right button. Yep, I hit the right button. Munsok So, restaurateur, business expert, drunkenfish.com. 612, you type in number 6 and number 1 and number 2, the actual numbers. Don't spell it out. That ain't going to work. Maybe it will. Buy that as a backup. Forward it to the other. I'll say it. 612north.com. That's for your venue for weddings.
Yep.
And then KimichiGuys.com. I've seen that. I thought it was you. That's Munsok doing another great thing.
Yeah.
What's it like, man? All those businesses.
It's good. It's great. I mean, every day is a challenge, because we're running 3 different types of brands and concept. But I got some wonderful people that work for me, and so I can't give enough credit to the wonderful people that's been here with me.
All right, we're wrapping it up. Stay tuned. We're going to have another great interview coming up shortly. Here it is. All right, doing a quick little rendition as he's still got his mic on. We agreed to do this earlier, so only if you'll put it up.
Yeah,
so some people like, I'll throw that thing in the trash as soon as you give it to me. No, but there's a lot of restaurants who do put my little poster up on here, and that's because it is. There it is up. Dream and then chase your dreams. How many people do the first part, but they don't do the second part?
That's true.
So when we take it out to you personally, or to Drunken Fish, or to
me personally.
Soul Hospitality?
Me personally.
MUNSOK, right?
Yeah.
Comma, great work. Just in general, I mean, that just kind of covers all great work.
Yeah.
Cardinal Cowboy.
Awesome.
So now you can authenticate. We did record me doing that, so he can say that's original. So this now that I've signed it, this thing costs about $2.30. Now that I've signed it, it's worth about $1.50. Don't throw it away until you get out of here. Thank you, sir, for your
That
time.
was awesome, man. I don't want to take more of his time.
Yeah, you got it. We'll do that. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, everybody.
All right,
Giddy up.
buddy.
All right, we'll see you, Munsok.
Good luck, man. Good luck.